Good morning, everybody. Tanner Pfeiffer here with Pfeiffer Football and Tanner Pfeiffer NFL on Twitter with the popular NFL Rumors Twitter account. I believe you are over 200,000 followers now. Is that correct?
Well, we're close. We're
Okay.
close.
Okay.
Yeah, we're close. We got about 2,000 left to hit the 200, but
Oh, you
definitely,
got it, man.
yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there. One of the cool things this month, we got some great new followers. We got 10,000 new followers, 150 million impressions. A lot of people
Woo!
coming to the account.
That's a lot of impressions. Yeah. I know this month has been pretty successful for you. I know the Twitter algorithm's been changing a lot since ownership and everything, but that's a whole different story. Dude, there's a lot going on around the NFL right now. And I kind of just want to jump right into it. And that
Yeah.
is, the New York Jets and trade rumors, Aaron Rodgers trade rumors, Nathaniel Hackett, former offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, who helped him win back-to-back MVPs. Like, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, I know the coach, Robert Saleh, said it had nothing to do
Yeah, of
with
course.
that, but I don't think so, honestly. There was a lot of good candidates I think that they could have got. Not that Nathaniel Hackett is a bad candidate. I mean, he is a nice offensive coordinator. He was with the Packers, so I can definitely understand that. But you're putting yourself in play for Aaron Rodgers. He's really close with Nathaniel Hackett. This is the same system you're actually going to run that you fired Mike LaFleur for, right?
Right.
So it's the exact same system that he ran there, but the difference is Nathaniel Hackett could run the old Green Bay system now, right?
I see.
Not the system Mike LaFleur had. So being that he can run the old Green Bay system, that could be a selling point, being like, hey, we'll put out the old way of doing things where you were MVP. Now we got your friend Nathaniel Hackett here.
Yeah.
That we got a young Garrett Wilson here who played great. We got a good running game. We got a
You got
really great
Elijah Moore, who's been underused.
yes, we got a really great defense, and so I think when you add all those things together, you got a really good team. I mean, overall, I mean, there was tight ends that wasn't really utilized, like the Bengals tight end that they got in free agency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that wasn't utilized there, and I think Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is definitely. When I'm looking at like predictions and stuff, my prediction right now would be
Mhm.
Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, right?
I mean, it seems logical, and they're saying that this is the most logical. I mean, obviously because the play of hiring Nathaniel Hackett, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, there's apparently reportedly people in the Jets ownership and whatnot believing that Zach Wilson could still potentially be the guy, especially if they get Aaron Rodgers to help mentor him for like a year or two.
Right.
But
I
I
think
don't know about
I
that.
yeah, yes, I think Zach Wilson definitely needs to like he's a younger quarterback, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I think seeing Aaron Rodgers and how he does things will be really great for him. But Aaron Rodgers will be a difference maker for the Jets for sure.
Hmm.
Uh, I think that will be a really good move for them. They got a really great defense. When you was talking about Elijah Moore, now I've not heard anything on this yet, but Elijah Moore has created a lot of stink in New York, right? He really has. Like
Yeah.
he's had not the greatest attitude of things, and I can understand. I mean, not the attitude, but I can understand being frustrated.
Well, he's already requested a trade out of there once, and
Yeah,
if they do end up trading for Aaron Rodgers, who do you think is going to be a candidate to go to Green Bay who's in desperate need of a wide receiver?
right. I think Elijah Moore would be. Honestly, I think the Jets might move Elijah Moore if they traded for Aaron Rodgers, and like Elijah Moore, multiple picks, right?
Right. Yeah, either him or Mims or someone.
Yeah. Like, I think it would take a wide receiver because Green Bay's going to look at that, and everybody's talking here. Quinnen Williams, Jets ain't giving up Quinnen Williams, right? I
No,
can already tell you that
he had
they're
like a
not giving
career
up.
year too, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't see him giving up, even for it's Aaron Rodgers. Elijah Moore, maybe, or maybe Elijah Moore and some multiple picks. Their owner even said that they would give 2 first-round picks if it took it, right?
That's insane for a
Yeah,
39-year-old quarterback.
right. You better make sure when you give 2 first-round picks that Aaron Rodgers is going to play for about 3 more years at
No,
least.
no kidding. Like I wouldn't do that if it's a one and done thing or a two and done thing. I mean, I would want guaranteed at least 2 years from Aaron Rodgers if I was going to trade 2 first rounds for him.
Right, and Brett Favre, he came the same route because remember he came out of retirement, he went to Minnesota, then he ended up going to the Jets.
Took him to the playoffs too, didn't he?
Yes, he did. It's kind of the same route though, and Green Bay already said that they wouldn't trade him in the NFC, so all those NFC teams are out, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that is something to watch.
My
You,
biggest thing is like the AFC is so stacked
mhm.
that I just couldn't. If Aaron Rodgers can't win it in the NFC, and I don't think it's his fault necessarily, but how are you going to win it in the AFC?
Well, you got Josh Allen in that division, right?
Yeah.
And Von Miller's coming back, right? And
Mhm.
he was a big key piece that Buffalo missed in the playoffs. And who knows that Buffalo might upgrade as well at running back, which is most likely they'll upgrade at running back and get better there. Buffalo, I mean, they got a lot of players come back. They had a lot of people injured, right?
Mhm.
Honestly, when you talk about DeMar Hamlin, I mean, I know it was a great story, and I'm really hoping this kid gets better, for sure. But like DeMar Hamlin probably wouldn't have even been playing, honestly, if
Yeah.
the Bills wouldn't have the injuries that they had. Right, DeMar Hamlin plays safety, remember, and the person that was out was Micah Hyde.
Yep.
Yep. So if Micah Hyde plays all year, DeMar Hamlin might play like in nickel situations, but most likely he's not on the field if there was not an injury.
Another interesting thing is I don't know if many people know it, but the Bills actually fired their safeties coach as well, who's been there I think since 2017.
Hmm.
Now this was his first year as the safeties coach, but I mean, I don't know. Do they blame him? I mean, it's not his fault for injuries and everything, but let's see. Jim Salgado is his name. He's a defensive assistant and moved to coaching nickelbacks before the 2020 season. The 2022 season was his first as a team safeties coach, and then he was fired.
I think that's more of probably making moves to try to offset some of the gaps that they might have seen, like of teams they played.
Yeah.
Probably had nothing to do with the injuries. But that is something I know. A lot of it's just talking about the Bills just for a second. Is I know a lot of people wanted them to change both of their coordinators after that playoff game. Right? They wanted them to go with 2 different coordinators because of what happened. Especially they want them to go with a different defensive coordinator, which Leslie Frazier. I'll be honest, I don't agree with that because
Yeah.
Leslie Frazier did an amazing job. He had tons of injuries, right?
Yeah.
Tons of injuries, and he put people in. I mean, he put backups in and things, and competed at a high top 10 defense level.
Yeah. And I mean, he's been good every season. So, I
Yeah.
mean, when you get to the playoffs, it's the best of the best. So, like, you're going to have hard competition. I mean, it's not just a regular season. You make it to the playoffs when you're the best teams out there.
Yeah, and we'll move on
Mhm.
to Tom Brady, right? So some things happened this week with Tom Brady. Now there are a lot of speculation, of course, that will Tom Brady come back, right? There are a lot of
Yeah.
different things happening with him. Will Tom Brady come back? Will Tom Brady go to the Raiders? Will Tom Brady go back to the Bucks? Will Tom Brady go to another team, right?
Yep.
So Pro Football Talk said, Tom Brady to the Lions? I don't think so. Jared Goff had way too good. He had way too good of a season.
Right? I haven't heard that, but no, he's not going to the freaking Lions.
Yeah, they mentioned it, because remember he played for Michigan, but I don't think he's definitely going to the Lions. If he goes anywhere, even I'll bring some stuff up from like some quotes. Rob Gronkowski probably knows Tom Brady more than anybody. They're really good friends. Rob Gronkowski said that he thinks Tom Brady was signed for the Bucs over the Raiders.
He would re-sign with the Bucs
over the Raiders. Well, he mentioned when you're looking at that he thought that would happen, and I think if you really think about it, Tom Brady is a competitor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not that he don't want to go to a different team that might have a better chance to win, but when you look at the Bucs for a second, like they got two great receivers.
Yeah.
Right? They had a lot of injuries on the offensive line last year. So when you're looking at that, Tanner, man, I think, that could be a possibility, right? It was reported yesterday that, he has not ruled out the Bucs, right, to come back. A lot of people, Julian Edelman said the Bucs was out. But Rob Gronkowski said the Bucs is in, so there are like a lot of speculation and rumors right now. But I will tell you, Tom Brady enrolled his kids in a private school in Miami. There, he was checking out the school this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense if he being wanting to be around his kids to come back to Tampa Bay, because Tampa Bay, he would be really close to Miami. Miami seems to be going with Tua. Right.
But what if they're not?
If they're not, Tom Brady could be an option, there. But I'm beginning to think that, Tom Brady doesn't give up, right? Like, that's another thing you got to think about. Like, does Tom Brady want to just leave the Bucs after things didn't go well?
I would. At that age and that point in my career, Todd Bowles is not a head coach, and his track record proves that. I'd want out of there too. Just saying.
Let me tell you how they could get Tom Brady to stay.
How?
If they go and say, Tom, why don't you help us pick the offensive coordinator? Right?
Well, I figure he has some kind of input on that anyways, but you get rid of Byron Leftwich, who had you with 2 years that you had Brady there, or was it 3 seasons? That was his 3rd season there, I think. Right.
I think that could help. Honestly, Tanner, I think that could help if they decide to go that way. Like, I really think that that's a possibility, that if they want to, get another good, they've talked to a lot of offensive coordinators, but I don't know. I like Rob when you talk about Tom Brady, I like looking at Rob Gronkowski, in his opinion. Right?
Yeah,
because
but
he's close to him.
If he, just think, and this is a rumor, it's all speculation, but if he enrolled his kids in a Miami school, and if that's true, and I just don't think Tua was battling concussions this year, and he had like a lot of issues, and yeah, he had probably his best season, but still, dude, if you have the option of Tom Brady and seeing what a guy like Tua did with that offense, and the potential it has, and
got 2 good weapons for sure.
You got great weapons, and the defense before this season has been like a top 5 unit the last 2 years, and they still have that potential. I wouldn't give up on Brady to the Dolphins, though. I don't know.
Could happen, man. It could happen. Anything's in play probably right now. Like, if I was picking the big 3, I would include the Dolphins, right? If I was picking a big 3, I would say, to me, it would be the Raiders, the Bucs, and the Dolphins if I was looking at a big 3.
Okay, take the Bucs out of the equation. If it was another team outside of the Buccaneers, who are the top 3?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I would have said the 49ers, but I don't think so now.
No, I don't
Brock
either.
Purdy. You know what I mean? I would have said the 49ers definitely, because we all know, listen, at the end of the day, this is a team that he wanted to play for, right? This is his childhood team. This is a team he knows the team's Super Bowl ready, man. So, so I think that Tom Brady would definitely, sign with the 49ers if he had that opportunity, right? So I do think that, that to me, it will be the big three, but I just don't see the 49ers in play because Brock Purdy is doing what he's doing.
Yeah. I had the Raiders. I had the in play for Brady. I mean, I had the Raiders. Oh, I said something yesterday, and it made sense. It was Raiders. Or I was talking about Garoppolo, actually. That's who I was talking
Jimmy.
about. Yeah.
See, to me, the Raiders, like when you talk about the Raiders as well, I think Jimmy Garoppolo would be the number 2 there, right? Like, I think Jimmy Garoppolo will be their second option. Like,
if they can get Brady, it's going to be Garoppolo.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Raiders will probably be their second option. I think he would be a slam dunk for Josh McDaniels there. And I think a lot of people's very respective of him. So I think that could really, really be big right there. I want to talk about jump into some of the rumors on coaches. And like yesterday, we had the biggest coaching hire, Frank Reich. Now, a lot of people didn't care a lot for that because of Steve Wilkes,
myself included.
Yeah, Frank Reich is like really good at. Frank Reich has showed he was really good at offensive coordinator, and he has showed that he's really good at quarterbacks. Right? He's he had a rough time with the coach for sure, right? But like I think Carolina is going to make a big push for Derek Carr now with Frank Reich there. I think they're going to make a big push for Derek Carr because they have an already great defense there. So I think when you're looking at that, I think that they're definitely will make a push now for Derek Carr and see what happens. But they already got some weapons at wide receiver, so it'll be interesting there to see that. I'm gonna go through the other coaches. They say Mike Kulis said that the number 1 for the Broncos is DeMeco Ryans. Thinking about DeMeco Ryans, Tanner, you got a couple players that already played under DeMeco Ryans there in Denver, right? So you got you actually got a couple DJ Jones, the defensive lineman who had an amazing year as a free agent.
Isn't Kwan Williams there right now?
Yep, you got Kwan Williams there. So these are people that know him, can help him make the system run quickly, the 49er system. The difference is he'll have to bring on a really good offensive coordinator, right?
That's my thing, is because like you already have, which, okay, let's be honest, they're probably going to lose that, or I don't know. Do you think they're going to keep that defensive coordinator they have? I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I do. I think Everjo, they wouldn't let him interview with the Falcons. So I think that definitely, I think DeMeco Ryans will be open to keeping him, definitely, and them both working together with that defense. And that would be very key.
You would have the most like defensive-minded coaching mindset, but that's not your biggest struggle. Your biggest struggle is your offense right now.
He's key. So they will have to bring in a really good offensive coordinator, like
Byron Leftwich.
Possibly.
I mean, he was just let go, and it's not even his fault, I don't think. I blame it all on Todd Bowles, dude. He's not a head coach.
Yeah, well, I think Byron Leftwich has a lot of options. I know he interviewed with the Ravens.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and Ravens has got some really key people that they're interviewing with, right? So I think that could be an option. But, too, that DeMeco Ryans is going to look at probably a 49er tree. Then, he could look at somebody that is an offensive coordinator that kind of knows that system.
Like Mike LaFleur?
I think Mike LaFleur is dead set for the Rams.
For the Rams?
Yep, I think Mike LaFleur's dead set for the Rams. He knows the system.
Knows McVay.
Knows McVay, knows the system. They already work together pretty much hand in hand. And I think he knows that's a good shot for him to get as a head coach possibly one day, because he's going to have Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp and all those guys. So I think Mike LaFleur will go to the Rams.
That makes sense. It's a good connection there.
Yeah, now we're talking about the Texans. Now, I personally, and we've talked about it for months, but I personally would love to see the D'Amico Ryans go to the Texans and turn that franchise around. I'll tell you a couple players. A player that really endorsed him was J.J. Watt. Like he said, J.J. Watt was all about him going to the Texans, right? And
I did see that.
Yep, he was all about going to Texas. All their beat writers are all about D'Amico Ryans going to the Texans. I think it would be great if he went there. It was a place that loved him, a place that he could go to. I know that they're really interested in him. So I think D'Amico Ryans, as we look at it, Tanner, it's Broncos, Texans, right? When we're looking at it. The Texans backup, I will tell you, Aaron Wilson believes this as well as me. But Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles defensive coordinator, could be a lot there if they don't get D'Amico Ryans. Right.
Here's my question. Last season, the biggest thing that took people by surprise was the Texans interviewing Josh McCown. Where has his name been this year?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's been around too much,
Like I haven't hear. Like, how did he get interviewed for a head coaching job? Not just offensive coordinator or quality control. He was being interviewed as a head coach candidate, and I haven't even seen his name pop up this year. Like, what happened? I don't know. I just find that interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is. I know the Texans was a team that was really interested in them. I'm going to tell you a couple when you're looking at it. Steve Wilkes is going to be a heck of a defensive coordinator somewhere.
Oh, yeah, and rightfully so. I think he should be. I don't think he's a head coach. I think he can be a head coach, of course, but he's just one of those guys, in my opinion, that is just so much better as a defensive coordinator.
He's going to be a really good defensive coordinator somewhere, because I don't think he's going to land a head coach this cycle. One of the things that we did hear rumors on late last night says Sean Payton had a really great interview with the Cardinals.
Yeah, I read that it lasted like all day.
Yep. So Kyler Murray is somebody that he's very high on, and that will be a quarterback that he's very good on. Arizona is like he likes a lot of the big rumors is he want to stay like close in the Los Angeles area, right? And Arizona, not that it's close to Los Angeles, but it is on the West Coast, right? So when you're looking at close to being in the West, there, it's you're looking at it being closer to those things.
I still can't believe it wasn't the
Chargers.
The Chargers, man. Like, I saw that as a perfect fit, to be honest with you.
Honestly, that's what I'm thinking, right? I know the Cardinals had a good interview, and not that they won't sign him, but I think not that they won't offer him if they could come together for a deal. That probably be the huge thing, right? But it seems the other two Cardinal candidates right now are Brian Flores.
Yep.
And you're looking at their defensive coordinator, Vance Joseph, right?
Yep.
Those seem like the two big candidates there with Sean Payton. Definitely, if Sean Payton comes and Kyler Murray's going, they said that he's got a say in the offensive coordinator or the head coach. So I think that's going to be pretty huge. I think Sean Payton going there would be big. They have like Cardinals could probably give a draft pick there that the Saints would want. The Cardinals could bail the Saints out from getting back in the first round pick after having a rough season. Right?
Yeah. But the two names that you mentioned, Flores and Fangio, right? Or is it you mentioned
Flores and Vance Joseph. So
Vance Joseph. They're better as defensive coordinators.
Well, true. Brian Flores, though, when you think about that, he did a really good job with the Dolphins with the talent that they had. He actually had the same record that Mike McDaniel had last year. But when you're looking at Brian Flores, he has links to the GM, right? Because they were there together with the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I would not discount Brian Flores there. If Josh McDaniels is going to make sure this is a perfect situation this time, right? He's going to make sure that he has some control in there on the roster. He's going to make sure that everything's looking good. Now, I'll tell you a possibility for me, right? If the Cardinals do not get Josh or Sean Payton, that means he goes back to Fox, right?
Yep.
And he always said it's a 70% chance he's going back to Fox anyway. But let me tell you, that other 30% was probably, if he doesn't take this job, was probably the Chargers, right? Because that's who he really wanted to coach. And I'm going to tell you, let's just say Brandon Staley has a bad year this year. He probably is thinking like this in the back of his mind. I mean, I'm just being honest about it, but he's probably thinking what Brandon Staley has, maybe an average year. Then, I might be in play again for the Chargers. Right? I mean, he probably has to be thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's up in the air what he does. I mean, he could go to the Cardinals, but you still got those other options. Now, the coach is a very interesting one, and the owner will get a lot of slack over this. I'm just going to be honest if this happens. But Jeff Saturday,
he's the favorite right now.
Reported is the favorite to get that job. The guy that, I mean, he actually gave the biggest comeback in NFL history happen.
He let it happen. He didn't accomplish it. He let it happen.
Yeah, and then not only that, he wants to bring in a whole new staff. That means like people like Gus Bradley, who's done a really good job with the coach defense last year, and he is the front runner, by the way, Tanner, to get the Panthers defensive coordinator job with Frank Wright.
Bradley?
Yes.
What?
Yep. So, and he had a really good defense for the Colts.
Why would he leave the Colts?
Well, I don't think he's part of Jeff Saturday's plan.
What? I like Jeff Saturday, and I like his mentality, but he better be careful if he doesn't know what he's doing yet.
Yeah, so I think Jeff Saturday will go get people that is close to him or thinks that is it. One of the names I keep hearing if Jeff Saturday gets the job is Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs
for the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, so here's one of the rumors that's floating around, right?
But why would he leave the Chiefs?
I'm going to tell you exactly why he's going to leave the Chiefs.
Okay.
Here's the rumor that's floating around. So Patrick Mahomes, right? Everybody knows what he's doing, and Andy Reid gets a lot of credit, which is deserved for the things that he's doing. He cost the place half the time. Eric Bieniemy cost the place half the time. So I think Eric Bieniemy wants to go to the team where he's the full offensive coordinator with somebody rather than Patrick Mahomes. Right, because then he's going to get more credit, right, for developing an offense.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then it's going to make it easier, Tanner, for him to be a head coach. Right.
There's got to be a reason he hasn't been a head coach yet. Like, he goes on these interviews every year, and then I don't think this year he was really even talked about it.
Just the coach, right? Like he's the one. A lot of people are saying that he could be a finalist for the coach job. What the Rams defensive coordinator I've heard is a finalist for the coach job. But Jeff Saturday, everybody says he's the front runner, right? To getting this, and it'd be very interesting to see what that looks like. And when you're looking at that, I mean that's kind of what we got for the coaches. When we're looking at that, one of the things I want to talk about some free agent rumors now. Not too many yet. I mean, we're still early, but definitely this is your place you want to be to catch all the free agent rumors. Hearing that DeAndre Hopkins is the big name is the free agent rumor that a trade could happen. Now, Sean Payton actually could change a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Sean Payton, I don't know if he will want to trade his best wide receiver away, right? So that could change if he's the coach. Now, if he's not the coach, we've heard that DeAndre Hopkins could get moved to the Patriots.
I see that one.
Yeah, we could get moved to the Titans. Could get moved to the Browns. Could get moved to the Giants. That's the big four that you hear.
I see the Browns and the Patriots before any others.
Yeah, he has a good relationship with Mike Vrabel
Yeah.
for the Titans.
I would
Uh,
not want to go to the Titans, though, dude.
well, they don't have a quarterback plan yet, right? So
No.
that's going to be, that could be huge, but he don't have any say in that, right? DeAndre Hopkins, I
Does he
know,
not
but
have a no trade clause?
no,
Okay.
yeah, so he won't have any say to where he goes. That's a little bit different, like for Derek Carr, right? So
Yeah.
Derek Carr is doing homework last week on teams that thinks that he would like to be traded to, because at the end of the day, if the Raiders try to trade him, and he was like, nah, I don't think so, right? Another rumor that's going around is Kellen Moore
Yep.
could be gone. Kellen Moore could be gone, so that would mean that Mike McCarthy would possibly even call the plays, or possibly go get an offensive coordinator, or maybe just like a quarterback coach. And he's actually already got rid of his running back coach, so it seems like Mike McCarthy's going to kind of retool the offense. Remember when he came there, Kellen Moore, he kept kind of Kellen Moore's offense and just put his little tweaks in it. But
Yeah.
it might be a full out change, Mike McCarthy, to install in his system. You know what I mean? Now, this
I
is
think Kellen Moore was really in the front running for the Panthers job, but now that he doesn't have that, I see him going back with the Cowboys, to be honest.
yeah, but you know what their head coach said, right? Mike McCarthy said he don't guarantee him returning.
No, he doesn't guarantee it, but I mean, I could expect it at least.
Yeah, I don't know about it. We'll have to see what happens. Kellen Moore, if he is let go by Dallas, will be a big, big offensive coordinator, right? In a lot of places. One of the other things I want to talk about, Vic Fangio
Yep.
is a well sought after defensive coordinator. Now, we got the Panthers who won him, which will be excellent for Frank Reich if he can land him.
Mm-hmm.
And we also got the Falcons that talked to him. I don't think the Falcons will land him, in my opinion. I might be wrong. One of the hot teams that's rumored to possibly land him is the Miami Dolphins. So he
That would be
was
good for
there.
them.
He was there yesterday for the majority of the day. We hear.
Okay.
And one of the two other teams that's in the playoffs right now, if D'Amico Ryans leaves, the 49ers is a big option. And the other option, he actually was a senior consultant to the Eagles this year. So that if Jonathan Gannon goes to the Texans, then you might see him right there for the Eagles.
And who is this?
Vic Fangio.
Fangio was an assistant on the Eagles?
Was just a consultant.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he probably did help a lot of the defense, right? Like when you think about it. He probably helped Jonathan Gannon with some stuff. So,
I'm sure he
that,
did.
yeah. So that would be probably a really, really good fit for the Eagles. I'm like, listen, when you're talking about Eagles, San Francisco, Miami, and me, I mean, I'm thinking about those three teams if I want to be a head coach again, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm saying, hey, they got a good defense. I can go in there and do some big things with that defense.
I want to put up a tweet real quick, something that Steve Wilkes put out about his whole Panthers situation.
Okay.
I'll put it on the screen. I can't zoom into it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
it's on the screen now for all the listeners and viewers to see. But he does say, the sun rose this morning, and by the grace of God, so did I. I'm disappointed, but not defeated. Many people aren't built for this, but I know what it means to persevere and see it through. It was an honor for me to coach those men in Carolina Panthers locker room as the interim head coach. Players, coaches, and staff, thank you for your hard work and dedication. I took pride in representing Charlotte, a great city that I love so much. Thank you to my family, friends, and the community for overwhelming support. I do wish Frank Reich all the best. I will always be a fan of the Carolina Panthers football team.
Nice.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of players in that locker room, man. A lot of players, tons of players in that locker room wanted Steve Wilkes back.
They liked him.
Yeah, they wanted back. Now, I'm going to tell you something real quick about Jeff Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of the players I heard that talked to Jim Irsay said, of course, he's going to talk to the players and kind of see what happened with them.
Mm-hmm.
And several players I've heard have vouched for Frank Reich changing the locker room dynamic. not Frank Reich. I'm sorry, Jeff
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
changing the locker room dynamic. So that could be a big thing, right? Because that could be a huge thing, and the coach wished Frank Reich well. Not every place do you fit in, with things. So I think when you look at it, I think a lot of players are wanting Jeff Saturday. Several of the players want him, so. It'll be interesting to see. But Jim Irsay knows he's going to have a lot of slack,
Yeah.
right? If he hires him, right? He already knows that. I'm going to jump in, Tanner, to the championship week real quick.
Let's do it.
Yep. So we got the 49ers and Eagles. We got Brock Purdy as an undefeated quarterback going against Jalen Hurts. Last time they played, it was a 1-point game in college.
Yeah.
Yep. So interesting there. Just a 1-point game in college. The Niners have a really good defense. So do the Eagles. The 49ers, I feel, it's got a better running game than the Eagles.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting I think if the Eagles win this game, it's going to be because of Jalen Hurts' ability to be a multi-dimensional quarterback.
Oh, for sure. He's the better passer. He's the better runner. But I do think the 49ers have the better defense overall.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think they have that consistent of an offense, but I would give the offensive edge to the Eagles, defensive edge to the 49ers.
I think it'll be a really close game within 3 points. I think either way, I think, I'm not picking the game's the Niners right now with that game. The Bengals and Chiefs, the Bengals are the really hot team coming in. They really played well in Buffalo. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is injured a little bit, right? So that's the very reason that I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one in a real close game, because honestly, I think Patrick Mahomes not being 100% could affect things, because if he gets hits, and he might not be if you watch that game, he couldn't move around and do those magical things like he did.
Yeah.
So that if he can't do that, that can make a big hindrance where he has to throw from the pocket. And I think that's going to be huge. The difference for the Bengals is their secondary. Their secondary is going to be like that's their vulnerability. If Patrick Mahomes can, go against their secondary and do a good job, I think they could definitely easily win for sure. And I think the Bengals could easily win. I mean, I think both of these games could come down to 3 points. I got the Bengals and Niners in the Super Bowl.
I do too. That was my pick. And I went on an Instagram live just yesterday or the day before, and I said, I believe the 49ers 38, Eagles 31. That was my prediction score. I think it'll be they're going to be trading shots, I think.
It'd be interesting to see how it all comes down in the game plan. I think it'll definitely be a close game either way. I think the Eagles are very talented. The 49ers are very talented. The Bengals are talented. The Chiefs. All these teams are exceptionally talented teams. So it could go either way. So we'll have to see if Brock Purdy can keep on slinging it. Imagine being the starter and not losing a game and going to the Super Bowl.
He's doing good, dude. I'm a fan. Like, I'm not going to be upset if the 49ers win. But I think I'd rather see Burrow win a Super Bowl right now.
Yeah. Well, Joe Burrow definitely, they got a lot of great weapons there at the Bengals. The question is with the Bengals, like later on, how are they going to pay all the people that they got to pay, right? A lot of people are speculating that T. Higgins, not that the Bengals are trying to trade him, they're not, right, at all. But a lot of speculation that a lot of teams are going to call in the offseason for T. Higgins, right?
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, a lot of teams are going to call and see what if offering trying to get T. Higgins, right? Because everybody knows he's a number one. Jamar Chase is the 1A, T. Higgins the 1B probably there. So a lot of people definitely will come calling.
Even Tyler Boyd could be a wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams.
Yeah, Tyler Boyd even could be one. I think a lot of people want T. Higgins though. Definitely with that, but T Higgins is the top taker for the Bengals,
Yeah.
taking the top off. So I can see one of the Bengals receivers being moved this offseason, honestly. Tyler Boyd, or I like Tyler Boyd. To me, might be the most obvious to be moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, instead of T Higgins, but we'll have to wait and see what that looks like. But we're gonna have ton more free agent rumors. Here's one. Here's you one that the Raiders might be open. They're open to making changes, is what they said. Right,
Yeah.
the offense. And a lot of people are watching to see if Darren Waller or Hunter Renfro might become available.
Well, there was
Right.
teams that called this last offseason about Waller, and he didn't even really play this season at all. So I mean, I could see him getting moved. They signed him to an extension, and it's not working out so far.
Right. Yeah. And, a lot of it will probably come down to the quarterback they get. Devontae Adams being there is going to be huge for a quarterback. Imagine if the Jets can't land, if the Jets couldn't land Aaron Rodgers, Tanner, and the Raiders landed Aaron Rodgers, and you have Aaron
Not
Rodgers and
happening.
Devontae Adams back. That would be a crazy move in the offseason.
Yeah, but I don't see Rodgers wanting to go to the Raiders, bro.
Probably not. Probably not. I think he's going to look at teams, and he'll probably want to that, and exactly what a lot of people said. Aaron Rodgers is not walking away for $60 million.
Nah, if anything, it's just another year of speculation. I see him returning to Green Bay.
It could be. We'll have to see there. But Jordan Love will definitely be moved if Aaron Rodgers comes back to Green Bay.
No doubt. And
Yeah,
I see Love going to a team like, I don't know, maybe the Jets or maybe the Raiders.
Yeah, you could definitely see that. So we got a lot of things to keep on following, especially like Lamar Jackson. Here was a rumor that we had for him as well. Lamar Jackson this week, the Falcons was noticed as a team of interest from ESPN if Lamar Jackson becomes available in a trade. They was all after Deshaun Watson, so definitely I could see Lamar Jackson being there.
He was like actually about to sign with the Falcons, and then bam, the Browns came out of nowhere and like, we'll guarantee you $230 million.
A couple more. I just want to talk about a couple more rumors before we go. Jalen Ramsey expected to be available in the offseason.
Yeah.
4 teams that are expected to show interest is the Lions, the Steelers, the Vikings, and Raiders. Now, I want to talk about the Lions. Everybody's like, no, he ain't going to the Lions, right? Not necessarily. Their GM came from the Rams, right?
Okay.
So their GM came from the Rams. Steelers need a good corner. That was their downfall last year. They needed a good corner. Jalen Ramsey is a good corner that could do that. Vikings really had a real rough secondary. Patrick Peterson, I don't see him coming back. I know they like him there, but he knocked Kirk Cousins, right? So I don't see him coming back. Raiders are a team that definitely I could see being interested in Jalen Ramsey. The other big rumor that we got, the Giants, right? Everybody knows Saquon Barkley's out there. The betting favorite for him is to go to the Dolphins. Now, that is not like speculation or anything from anyone or a source. It's just the betting favorite for him to go to the Dolphins. But the Giants have said they will not franchise Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley. So that means before that period, they have to get them re-signed. If they don't get them re-signed, then they're going to become available in the market.
I don't know. I don't think that. I mean, I think the Giants were pretenders this year anyways. They played well, but I mean, let's just remember who their quarterback is, and it's still Daniel Jones. One decent year isn't gonna surprise. I mean, isn't gonna impress me too much.
Well, they're not going to franchise Daniel Jones. They're not going to pay him $30-some million.
No, but they'll sign him to an extension.
Yeah, they will sign him to extension, but they're not going to. If I was the Giants, I would franchise Saquon Barkley, right? If it was me, because he will be the one that you don't have to really overpay for with the franchise tag, and that's who I would sign. If I can't get him re-signed, I'm tagging Saquon Barkley. I'm trying to work out a deal with Daniel Jones. Right? They got to get a wide receiver. I don't care who the quarterback is there. Right? They have to get a wide receiver one. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like that is something that they have to do. Kenny Galladay will help them get that because he'll be a cap casualty, which will give him $13 million.
Good point.
Yep. So he'll give him $13 million to play with. But Saquon Barkley said he wanted to reset the running back market. So we'll have to see what that looks like. But if I was the Giants, I would tag him.
Yeah, Fabian's asking any rumors on what the Raiders might do at quarterback and who they're looking to trade for. We did talk about that. There's a couple options there for them at quarterback.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Tom Brady.
Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady are the biggest two. If they don't land Tom Brady, they're going to probably target Jimmy Garoppolo, just in my opinion. Or if if Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay, I can see Jordan Love obviously being moved, and I would see the Raiders as one of those options.
Also, don't discount the Raiders might trade up.
They could trade up, yeah. They could trade up.
Yeah, quarterback. There are 3 quarterbacks expected to go into the top 10 right now. Some people think they'll even go in the top 5. Those 3 quarterbacks, right?
Will Levis, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
Yep, exactly. I heard that CJ Stroud is the early on favorite for him is the Panthers. But I think the Panthers will go get a veteran quarterback. I just got that feeling. But they one of the other things is I think the Texans will get one of those 2 quarterbacks from Alabama or Ohio State. Right?
They will.
Yeah. They'll be one of the picks. The Bears is in a good spot because they can trade with anybody. I could see the Colts trading for the number 1 pick. And draft them. They get their pick of who they want at quarterback. I could see them trading with the Bears because remember they wouldn't have to fall far. The Bears wouldn't have very far to fall, and they could still get their defensive player they wanted in the coach spot.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and the thing about it is on that trade, Tanner, they can they're going to still get a really good player, and they're going to get a haul back for him. Right. And they're still going to get the same player they would have drafted and get all kinds of compensation. Right. So the Bears will not keep the first pick.
You really think so?
No way. Bears are not keeping the first pick. Yep. They're just way too many teams. The Texans, even though that they Lovie Smith, went for that too. They could. They're a player to go up and trade for them. The Colts are a player. The Raiders are a player. Anybody in the top 10, the Panthers, any of those top 10 teams
in need of a quarterback.
Yeah, like the Bears are in a really good place. Not only are they going to get a big draft haul, they got a good draft pick. They're the number 1 team with salary cap space. So they're going to make very moves. There's a lot of rumors that, hey, a lot of Bears fans want them to pick a quarterback. Listen, guys, they're not picking a quarterback. Justin Fields.
No, they're sticking with Justin Fields.
He was explosive last year when it came to run the ball. Maybe he's not the 100% passer, but neither is Lamar Jackson, right, all the time.
Right.
He takes the ball, runs it too. A lot of these guys did that. Michael Vick. They stayed in the league.
Isn't Luke Getsy there?
Yeah.
Or what's his face? He was the Packers quarterback coach. Now he's their offensive coordinator. The dude worked with Aaron Rodgers. So, I mean, there is potential for Justin Fields for sure. And he did capitalize on a lot this year. I think he still has a long way to go to develop, but they're not going to be taking a quarterback. That's for sure. I think you're right. They're trading away that first pick.
I got the last hit for you before we go. So it came out from the Boston Globe yesterday. The Patriots, Mac Jones did not like his quarterback coach very well at all, right? And that's Joe Judge. And I'm sure Giants fans are celebrating around the world, right? Because they didn't like Joe Judge either. And we see what Joe Judge done with Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And he was a quarterback coach, and we see Mac Jones kind of went backwards. So the Patriots went and got Bill O'Brien and named him offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. It's something that we heard rumors on since December that we tweeted out, and it happened this week. Bill O'Brien definitely going to there. I think Bill Belichick said DeAndre Hopkins was one of his favorite players. Bill O'Brien coached DeAndre Hopkins for the Texans. There's a lot of links
good
there.
point.
There are a lot of links there for him.
And Belichick and Hopkins have like a lot of respect for each other. You can see it in all these little post game, chats. Like after a game, they go up to each other and hug each other and just talk for a minute. You don't see Bill Belichick do that a lot.
And another thing, Tanner, Mac Jones is wanting to push the ball down the field. So many times he was on audio this year saying, why are we not throwing the ball down the field?
Yeah.
Why are we jumping the ball off? Right? He was all over Matt Patricia, all over Joe Judge about this stuff. And it seems that Bill Belichick was always calling Joe Judge out in practice per the Boston Globe too. Right? And that's definitely not good to see your head coach call out a staff member in front of the person that's learning. Like, I'll give you a good example. If you're working at a job and you have a supervisor and you see their boss like that kind of downgrading them right in front of you, well, you're going to lose tons of respect for him. Right? Like,
yeah, true.
You're going to be like, hey, wow, should I even listen to this guy? And but that's what happens, right? And I think getting Bill O'Brien there, like, he done great things with the Alabama offense. He done great things with the Texans offense. Like, look at some of the Texans quarterbacks they had, like Matt Schaub at one time. Like, he did great things with the Texans, right?
Yeah, like a dude who's basically a career backup was a pretty good starter for the Texans.
Almost 5,000 yards.
Yeah. I remember Matt Schaub, man.
And Andre Johnson catching like for 225, 230 a game.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien knows what he's doing.
Yeah, offensively, he's going to be the guy, like offensive coordinator. He might not be the biggest mistake with Bill O'Brien, Tanner, was the fact that they gave him control of the roster in the Texans, and like they tried to give him like too much, right?
Oh, he was acting GM his last year, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah, they was trying to give him too much. Like he is very good at being an offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? He's really good at being an offensive coordinator. And eventually he might get another head coach job one day down the line. But I think he would do it different if he did. And maybe, let the GM do the GM things. And, he'd focus on that. But that'll be interesting to see. Jared Mayo, I think that the Bills are really grooming him, honestly, to be their defensive coordinator. Because I'm sorry, the Patriots. Yeah. I think Jared Mayo, man, is going to be there.
So. Yeah, he's doing really good. I like him.
Yep. Well, that's all I got, my friend. Do you got anything?
No, that's it, man. Like I said, you guys can find us on all platforms. Just really, if you just Google NFL Rumors or NFL Rumors Podcast, you will see our link pop up. We're up there in the SEO and the searches and everything. We really appreciate you guys. Make sure you give us a follow, and appreciate you tuning in to episode 14. Anything to follow up on?
Yep. Lastly, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like. Make sure you're watching the video. Comment. Tell us what you think, right? Tell us what you think about some of the rumors. Tell us what you think about maybe things for your team off season. We want to hear about it, right? We want to hear about it. We'll come back and respond. Like if you have any questions, put them in there. Me and Tanner will go back and work together and respond on them. And definitely we'll tell you anything that we didn't get to cover today. And definitely we were so happy to have you. Really, guys, I love for you to push me over to that 200. Will be great. We're almost 198. So, if make sure you share with your friends. Make sure you share with, some football fans with us. And, we're going to provide all the off-season pro football content. We're going to provide all the rumors. We're proven the last 2 years to be the number one spot for all your rumors in NFL.
That's great, man. Yep. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. Help them get 200,000 followers on Twitter. One of the biggest, fastest growing NFL accounts out there. And with that, guys, we will be having a new episode every single Friday, even off season or no off season. Guys, we are here every Friday morning. So thank you so much, guys. And we will see you in episode 15 next Friday.